Hey everyone, I've been going back through the fourth and fifth motions to compel and following along with Ann Taylor's questions. So, you all probably knew this already, but it's becoming clearer to me that maybe Payne did not represent himself in good faith when he was speaking about the information that he obtained from the FBI. There definitely seems to be a gap between what Payne is saying and what CSLI Expert Sy Ray is seeing. And I am going to upload a video in, I don't know how long, but at that same motion to compel hearing, Elisa Massoth, she had a very powerful ending. And she mentioned FRANKS material, and that there may or may not be an untruthful statement in the probable cause affidavit. For me, right now, I'm looking at, is there proof out there that there were misrepresentations in the probable cause affidavit, and there is documentation or lack of documentation out there that can confirm there is, or highly likely, FRANKS material related to Brett Payne and his statements. I've also noticed that there is something odd about warrant number 2. Ann Taylor and Sy Ray talk about that a lot during that hearing. So at the end of the motion to compel hearing on May 30th, Elisa Massoth had a powerful ending. She said, quote, "There's no question motions to suppress are coming. Motions to suppress are coming on warrants, and whether or not those motions to suppress are based on FRANKS material, because misrepresentations are made. Because misrepresentations are made depends on the timeline. So if there is a representation made in a warrant that things happened in a certain way, if we're able to look at the timeline and say, we know when the state knew this when, that gives us an answer on whether or not the suppression issue includes a truthful statement in the affidavit. I think that Elisa Massoth would have had a powerful closing in relation to the information that was discussed at that motion or those motion to compel hearings, which means it's Brett Payne's information. And I do hear that she works in federal court most of the time. And so they must have a pretty good idea that a FRANKS material is likely. And if that's likely, this is going to get very interesting. And a lot of the things that we heard are not going to be true. And it's going to be very difficult for people to cut ties and sever themselves from what the mainstream media has said. A lot of what mainstream media has said has cemented in our brains. So it's really hard. It's even hard for me to say, wait, is that something I read in a court document, or is that something I heard from mainstream media? And I think that what's going on here as it relates to the court process, I'm not an expert or anything, but that's what I focus on, court process and DNA. More DNA videos to come, but that is going to show us a story in itself. So I like to focus on the court process and DNA. Right now, the court process is going to show us another story, and it's going to be its own separate story. So at this point, I am looking forward to more information. We may not ever get it, but Massoth dropped FRANKS. I'm looking forward to the next time we can hear Elisa speak, because she, powerful speaker. And I think that there are some more takeaways from not only what she said and the questions that Anne asked, but there seems to be two completely different playing fields. You have Brett Payne, which he doesn't really seem like he's very experienced. And then you have Elisa and Anne. They're playing on a different playing field. I think I heard somebody mention 3D chess. I think it's actually bigger than that, but hopefully something happens soon, and I'll see you next time. Bye.